These are the directions for the AIR registration for Oceanside Unified School District. First, select your language and then enroll as a new student. You'd select the school year, you'd select the next school year or current school year. Since I'm enrolling a student for next school year, I would click this one. This page has all the documentation that you will need during the registration process. Please read that. Here's where you would create or log in if you've already created an account. So you'd go ahead and enter your information and click Create Account. And this terms of service will come up for you, so make sure you read that. Agree. Click Next. And then here's where you'd enter your student's information. The fields you will fill out that are required are the legal first name, the legal last name. Nickname's optional, but you need the middle name. Here's the student's birthday and the grade in which they'll be entering school. When you click Next, you get to the student address information, and you go ahead and fill that out. This address information is important for school registration, which school the student will be attending. When you hit Next, this is where you select the school. Now, before taking a guess on which school it's going to be, if you click on the Here link, you can review the boundaries, the district boundaries. You can select the English or Spanish locator, and you can type in the address here and hit enter, and it'll actually show you which district boundary the student resides in. As we can see here, Mission Elementary is the current location for this student. And I've selected that here. Click Next. Once your account's created, you'll need to log into your email because you've received a verification email. When you go to check your email, you'll see you've received an email from Oceanside USD Enrollment. Make sure this is not filtered out by your spam filter. When you click on the email, you'll see it says click here to activate account. If that does not work, you can copy and paste by selecting and copying and then pasting the URL. Okay, this has been verified. Now we can continue with the registration process. Here's where we'll enter our student information. At any time during this registration process, you can click the Finish Later button and return back with your username information that you created, the email and the password earlier. So here we enter some basic information: student gender, home phone number, and student's mobile number if they have that. Here you want to put an email address if the student has an email address, and it should only be the student's email address. Don't put any parents' email addresses here. You'll need that later, and it can't be the same as the one you used to create this account. This is some basic information of where the student was born. This information needs to match the student's birth certificate. And here we have ethnicity. Mark one of either non-Hispanic or Hispanic and select the race and highest education of the parents. Click Next. Here's where you complete a language survey. This language survey will help us determine if the student needs language support. You'll see that the options are multiple different languages, and this is our language survey. So here's where you're going to put in the resident parent information. This first box is how all mail will come home in the name portion. These are the two parent guardians below. You put the name, first name, last name, and the relationship. You can allow or not allow parent portal access. By default, you want to say yes. You put in the email, and do they live with the student. You can also have a duplicate of all mail sent to another address by clicking yes and typing in an address. Now for phone numbers, this is important for contact. The primary home phone number will be used to make calls to home. The cell phone number will be used to send SMS messages home for grade information from our parent link. Now, if the only primary phone number is a cell phone, make sure that both the cell phone number go here and here. You cannot leave primary phone number blank. It must have a number in there. The cell phone number is optional, as well as the work phone number. This is parent guardian 2. You can have all the same options here. Both parent guardian 1 and 2 are contacted with parent link for phone calls on grade information and other communications. Here's the out-of-state contact information. This is optional. Now for a restrained individual, there must be some kind of court order for this. So if you click yes, there must be supported documentation after entering their information. Here's the emergency contacts. For the emergency contacts, first name, last name. You can select the relationship if it's a family member or somebody else. You can allow or disallow portal access, home mails, and here you want to put the phone number and the address. You can add multiple contacts if you choose to, but please at least provide one. This is the health survey. Here you would select any medical conditions that the student might have, and you can add notes in here and then add the condition. Please be sure to bring documentation during the physical registration process at that school site. Here's immunization information. Again, you'd put in the vaccine types that you have, and you would have to bring the documentation and proof of the immunization at the school site during registration. This is optional. If you do not want to enter it here, you can bring in the physical documentation and a health clerk will enter it for you. Here's where you'd put in an enrollment history. You can put all the previous schools the student attended. And here are authorizations. These are yes or no questions. Please fill out all of these questions. And after you're finished, click Next. Now you'll be signing a document later that says you have answered all of these questions, so make sure to read these questions carefully. So here's the information collected. This is the confirmation. You'll notice you have an enrollment ID. And here's where you'd verify and edit any of the information that you entered before. And you'd go ahead and hit Finish and Submit after reviewing your registration. And here is a reminder of the documents that you would need to bring. Please make sure to read this before going to the registration in person. Here you can apply for free and reduced lunch online. and you do want to print this document. And again, this is all of the information just to verify it is correct. Notice there's a parent's guardian signature down here. This is to confirm that you've answered all of these questions as stated earlier. So you'd go ahead and make sure to print this. And if you have a sibling that is also going to be registered in the district, you can click on Enroll Another Student and it'll link most of that information. Otherwise, after you've printed that document, make sure you go to the school site to complete the registration process.